Okay, so a lot of people have been asking for another video on doing hogs. I'm going to show you a little bit different method. So rather than field dressing this, because this was in my backyard, some guys don't field dress and they like to do it at home, you know, when they're in comfort of a gambrel and other tools. So we're going to do it that way today for you guys. So to start, all I'm doing is just the ankles. I'm not even going crazy, just around. The reason why I start on the ankles is because once I have it on the gambrel, it's a bit of a pain in the butt to try to do it, and I end up hitting metal. So do the other leg. Yeah, so I like to do it this way, meaning without field dressing, if I can, you know, temperature-wise and everything, and being able to do it at home is kind of nice. That way you're not filling everything up with leaves and stuff. Okay, all right, Scott, let's put that one leg through. I think this gambrel's the pain in the butt one.
The wide one, yeah.
Yeah, it's not big enough, is it? Yeah, it is. We had to open that up more is what happened last time, right? You think you got enough already? It's a bigger pig. There we go. Get in there. There it is. Jackpot. Okay, send her up. Cool. So, you know, field dressing's nice if you have a long drag. This, we seriously pulled the machine right up to it. So this is guts in, everything, the whole 9 yards. But if you have a long drag, field dress it. Definitely field dress it.
And we do have a field dressing video.
Oh, he's leaking pee. I think that's high enough. So this is the other reason why I like to do it at home without field dressings, because you could really wash them up and scrub them, getting all the nastiness off them. Because if this cavity had been opened up right now, we wouldn't be able to do all this. Okay, so it's all scrubbed up. We fast forwarded to that nonsense. You don't need to really see it. So
basically just spraying it off.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys a little something. This was made by Donnie Wilkerson for me from Creekwalker Trading. It is just a gut hook, and we call it a gut hook, but it's really not used for gut. I still will use it for that. It should be called a skinning hook. That you don't have to use this. You could just use a normal knife, and you could take it and cut like this, and then cut all the way down and everything. But with the knife, it takes a long time.
Edge facing out.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use my hook that Donnie made me. So I'm gonna get it in there. If I can get it in there. There we go. And watch this.
Try and get it on.
That's right, you can get the belly too. Come down from here. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go both sides of the penis. Okay, so the urinary tract is right here. Balls are back here. Balls you don't have to worry about. Just the urinary tract you got to worry about. Come on. There we go. So both sides. So one side there. This thing's fatty. One side there. Okay, then I'm going to go all the way down the whole leg. See how quick this is, too? All the way straight down. And then, same thing. I got to sharpen this poor gut hook.
I was using that thing on my rabbits.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. It worked great.
So that's it. So I went down both legs. You see how quick that was? I didn't make a mess or anything. You can use a knife, though. You don't have to have this. I just wanted to show you guys that. And I don't even think Don even makes them other than just for me. So you see this right here, that tube, honey? You're going to have to help me out with terms. You're the science nerd. Because I like call this stuff all the wrong stuff, and like people will sit there and correct. Oh, yeah, dude. So whatever this is, the penis tract, urethra, penis tract, anything like that. We're going to take this all the way up to the butthole. That's the professional word, right?
Penis.
You see that, though? So it's just a tube all the way up. What you didn't see off film was I squeezed his penis in order to take the last of the urine that's sitting in there and get it all out.
Oh, that wasn't just for fun?
No. No, it wasn't just for fun. So just pulling up. You see the balls are right here. The balls we don't have to worry about. We're going to remove those. Take a little bit of skin.
Does anybody eat hog balls? Like Rocky Mountain oysters or something?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Isn't that pig or something?
Well, no. Rocky Mountain oysters is cow.
Or cow. And then they do it with bison as well.
I wonder if they do it with hogs.
See, this is where it starts getting a little bit confusing. See, here, So where the testes attach, cut that. Here's where the other testy attaches, cut that. There's nothing weird, nothing bad that you got to worry about with them. We're going to switch around to the back end, honey.
Okay.
So we're going to come around, we're going to cut around. Cut around the business. Maybe. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting around the nuts right now. Because we're just going to take them, we're going to remove them, get them out of the way, so that way we can kind of see what we're doing to pull through. I'm sure we're only at like a minute and a half into this, and I'm sure there's like 6 people like, man, I could have done that in about 15 seconds, and you can do it this way and the fast way. Well, that's cool, dude. Go make your video, I'll make mine. I'm very particular. I put this food in my stomach. It goes in my mouth, and then it goes in my stomach. So if you guys are looking to race for who can gut an animal as fast as you can, that's cool, but I'm most likely not eating it. So look, we cut both sides of the ball. So, you know, honey, you might want to see it from here. The hardest part about this is filming it. Mm-hmm. So both sides of the testicles, I cut both sides, okay? And then, I'm gonna take that, and we're kind of just gonna expose them completely so everybody can see that there's nothing to worry about. See? Normally I would just grab them skin and all on there, but I wanted to show everybody. So we're gonna skin out some nuts.
They're so veiny.
Okay. So you see they're completely exposed now, but remember that urinary tract is underneath there. So now, let's get them the hell out of the way. See, one, that's a big nut, dude. That is a really, really big nut. Save that for later. No, we're ain't saving that. But you see, there's nothing that you have to worry about with cutting them. You can cut into them too. If you accidentally cut into them, there's like a little bit of like
I mean, nothing that's gonna
goo.
foul your meat or anything.
No, nothing that's bad. But we just got them out of the way.
Brain in there, really.
But you see, now that they're out of the way, let's get the coin purse off of here too, so that way that people can see. This is the same as a deer too, by the way. So you see that now we still have the urinary tract here. The balls were sitting over the top here, but because they were in the way, I wasn't able to get to them. So we removed them out of the way. Now look, pulling up, I'm just tugging up right now, and that starts exposing all of this. Because right now, we're taking this in between the pelvic. There's
Pelvis?
pelvic, pelvis, same thing. Like I said, you know, the terms, I'm not going to get the terms right. So now, that's all brought up to the anus, and you can see it's just chilling there. And this is pelvic, pelvis is going to be right there. Now, we're going to go in towards the back. We're going to cut around the anus, the butthole, and then we're done.
Butthole.
You need to check it. Well, yeah. So when I get to this part, I like to take it and I hold down on the tail, and I end up doing it right there. Now, deer poop is not your enemy. Hog poop is your enemy. So I try to work really, really clean right here. You see it? Just cut in, and you can see this is still soft right here. So right along the tail. Then, both sides of it. Man, their skin is so thick. Okay, I'll move this over to here. Same thing.
Especially these more delicate areas.
Graduated.
Okay. So now I should be able to hold the side of this and kind of just cut both sides of the butthole while pulling, by the way. And the urinary tract, we're still going to pull that too. All right. Now this side. More is more. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I don't want to get that little bit of meat and stuff like that. No, I don't really care. It's so hard to film this, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I have to hold it way up, and I hope I'm getting...
It's okay. Hands-on is one of the most important things that people could do. You know, watching other people. And you see that? It just freed up. So, honey, you want to come over across the top? You see the pelvic right there, pelvic bone right there? So now everything around, all the way around both sides. And once you think you got it, don't squeeze. Whatever you do, do not squeeze that tube right here, the butthole. all of this, what would you call it? Some sort of intestine. I don't know the names of these things. Probably should have studied. Don't squeeze that because poop will shoot at you. So we're just pulling, we're holding the side of it, and we're pulling. Everything looks pretty freed, right, honey?
I guess, yeah, I can't really tell. Yeah. I mean, it looks
Looks like a loose butthole.
it looks like it has descended a couple inches.
Yeah.
Or ascended out of there.
Yeah. Give it a tug. Everything looks good. We're gonna let it lay. That's it.
Just let it dangle. Let the butthole dangle.
So this is, I'm doing this, by the way, as field dressing right now, because normally I would skin the whole thing and then gut. I just decided to do it this way, so that way some people don't want to see the whole thing. They're seeing hanging field dressing is what they're seeing first. Normally I would skin the whole thing first. All right, so
We'll just have to trap another pig.
I'm still gonna take these back a little bit. Well, that way, I figured that way we could break it up in short. Because it doesn't matter if I do this first or last or anything like that. So we're just taking this back a little bit. That way we can expose everything that's on the inside. So a little more explanation of why I just brought the penis back here and did all that. What happens is some guys would end up just opening up the gut and just cutting everything right there. So anything that was still remaining in the urinary tract and butthole just fell down the side here. That's disgusting. You know, we don't cut stuff. So what we did was we just cut around everything, and we're gonna pull it through completely and totally intact. That's the best way to do things. All right, that's probably exposed enough, right, to do what I need to do. Maybe a little more, because I'm not gonna split the chest plate. I'll do it afterwards.
Someone's coming.
What do you mean somebody's coming?
I hear someone coming down the road.
Airplane. Oh. Okay, now that's all cut and freed up. This is exposed down to the sternum right here. Right underneath here is the bladder. So any sort of pee, if this guy is full of pee right now and we take this knife and we poke in there, that's a problem. We're just gonna dump pee on everything. So what I end up doing is I'm gonna take right here and I kind of give a little pinch. A little pinch and pull and a small cut. And I try to get my finger to hear that? Just like that. And I keep pulling and picking. See, I think that was full. All right. And I'm gonna come up a little bit. Just to kind of finish exposing everything. Gentle with the tip of the knife. See that? All kinds of guts. I don't see anything in the bladder. Now, you could take your knife. This is what most people do. They take the knife, and I'll show you a little bit. And I just gently set it on top of my two fingers. I'm pulling away and spreading and pushing the whole way. See that? But it takes time. Look at all the darn corn in him. But I still like this. I like Donnie's gut hook. So skinning hook now did just become a gut hook. We're gonna take that, gonna set it in there. I still use my fingers, by the way, because there's always a chance of hooking onto stuff. Okay, all the way down. Now when you get close to the sternum, this is all guts, intestines, bladder, all that. But once you get down here, the diaphragm separates the heart, liver, and lungs. If you stabbed a knife in here, you're okay. You're not making a mess of everything. It's everything up here that really matters. So right now, I could just go in.
I'll grab that bucket.
And see that? Donnie's thing actually went right through those ribs. Look at that. I split the chest plate with that.
Right through that cartilage.
That's why I like this thing.
Yeah.
So I want to show you guys something
No,
else.
we
You
need
see
it
that right there?
We need it over here.
Thought you wanted out of
So I just split those ribs. That's the darn heart. That's how low you got to shoot on a pig. Low and forward. All right, so let's set this down right here. And we'll switch back to the knife. So the knife, I don't really care for these flaps very much. It doesn't hurt my feelings to kind of just pull them back a little bit to expose so you guys can see what's going on in here. His bladder is completely full.
Yeah.
That's bladder. I mean, I don't know how the hell he's still full, because he's been in that trap for a little while. So just kind of exposing some of this so you can see. So bladder, intestines, heart, liver, lungs. Liver's right there, actually.
What is that?
I don't know. Part of the bladder. Something. All right, so carefully, I'm going to start separating. So I'm going to see with the deer, you can normally just grab right here and pull. For some reason with pigs, no, pigs, it just hangs up. It gets really, really stuck. So we're going to just kind of separate it from the backside just a little bit. Being careful too. All right, both sides. Okay, now carefully, trying not to squeeze that damn bladder, which I can't believe is totally full. There we go. And it's okay to pull. All right, I think that's separated most of the way. Just a little nick right here, a little nick right there. So, like I said, we're not squeezing. That's the most important thing that you could do. All right, let's see if we can give a pull. Get all the way around everything, give a little tug. No, she's still hung really bad. I don't know what that's about. This guy is really hanging down. There it went. Okay, so do a little bit right here, a little bit right there. Put that down. Now, if you watch, when I get my hands wrapped around this and I start pulling gently, because you don't want to break. If it's hung, it's hung. You're gonna go. You could pull from this end too if you need to kind of just free the last of it up. Yeah, she's full. So look, there's our butthole, there's our poop chute, that's everything right there, bladder. Now when we pull this down and through, we want to still hold this up in the air, get it away. Because sometimes the bladder will dump. Remember when we were doing that one and it just dumped. Also, poop chute will dump. Now we could give it a little tug. So everything is just still hung on this wall. Kidneys, honey? Mm-hmm. Kidneys. So all set. That's low enough now that the penis and poop chute are low enough. They don't have to worry about it dumping on any sort of meat. We take our knife, go around the backside. So we're getting closer to the diaphragm. The best part is when we finally get all of these intestines out of the way. Because then you can't make a mistake. If you cut into something, it's not a big deal at all. There's diaphragm. See? What was that nice little gurgle sound? Like I said, guys, it's not a race. You know, if somebody's rushing you and telling you to do it a different way, hand them the knife and say, go at it. But don't let anybody tell you you're going too slow or anything like that. Because like I said, we're going to eat this stuff. It is not a race. So look, we got past that diaphragm. We've got liver right here. And then we've got lungs. You see, normally, these would be a whole frothy mess of blood and everything. But this was a trapped hog. So we didn't shoot it in the heart, liver, lungs. One thing that I could tell you guys, if you guys end up field dressing or anything like that or gutting, most important thing is if you shot it with a bow, and you shot it with a mechanical broadhead or any sort of small broadhead, find your broadhead, number one, before you end up killing, getting your hands in here. But if you can't find your broadhead, be careful. There might be one inside the animal. So, really, really important to be careful. Like when I reach in like that right now, had there been a broadhead in there, that's when you get cut and you get hurt. Okay, so I've gotten all the way to the end over here. Inside, at the end, there is the, honey? Esophagus, trachea, whatever. What I'm doing is I'm going to reach down in, and I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to cut it as far down in there as I can. And it feels like a little accordion, and that's it right there. Done. So that's how to gut an animal while it's hanging. And clean. You can see, like Scott, you see that? There's nothing. There's no poop. There's no nothing. I didn't cut a single intestine. I didn't cut anything. See, most guys would have just come in here and they would have cut right here. So any remaining poop would have been inside this entire area in between the pelvic bone. But we pulled it all the way through. The other thing you want to look for too, see any worms, honey? Because if you're going to have worms, you're going to see them around here, which that looks like one right there. Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, if you're going to see them, for some reason, they're always on those inner tenderloins. Well, thanks for watching. I'm going to show you guys a little more skinning and stuff like that if you want to keep watching. If not, subscribe, check out the rest of it. But it's pretty clean, right?
Yeah. Do you want me to pause this or?
Yeah, it's not a race, guys. It's just, that's the most important thing I can tell you.